What if I told you that preventing Alzheimer's disease and other dementias was possible right now? I'm Heather Whitson. I'm the director of the Duke Aging Center and a co-director of the Duke UNC Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. When I was in high school, one of our youth ministers told us that our calling would be found when we've identified the place where one of our great passions filled one of the world's great hungers. And I remember at that time in high school stashing that away, and then truly, when I left Arkansas to go off to college as an 18-year-old, I had that little hope in my heart that I would find that calling. I began to realize two things: that I loved science and science questions, and especially the biology of aging, and that the field of medicine was looking for solutions to help older adults that were living longer and with more chronic conditions than they'd ever had before, and particularly rising rates of dementia. I went into geriatrics because I really do enjoy being with older people. Maybe it's because I was close to all four of my grandparents. My grandmother was affected with Alzheimer's disease. We first noticed it when I was graduating from college, so throughout my medical school and medical training, I was living and watching the devastating toll that disease takes. The changes that had been happening in her brain had been happening for years to decades before we began to see the memory loss, the confusion, the clear signs of Alzheimer's disease. And that has made me realize that there are so many untapped opportunities in early and in midlife to prevent this disease well before the devastating consequences. So that is really what we are focused on. Alzheimer's disease, which we think of as one of the quintessential diseases of late life, is really not a disease of the aged, it's a disease of aging. And it starts, we think, as early as our 30s and 40s. And because we now realize that so much of this disease is rooted in the exposures, the conditions, the experiences across a lifespan, it's really crucial that we include people with an array of lived experiences and exposures. One of the reasons that we at Duke are uniquely positioned to accomplish this study that we've set out to do is by virtue of the fact that we live in North Carolina. It's rich in many of the populations that are highest risk for Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, and yet have not been well studied. We really have an opportunity here to enrich the resources for the whole world to study Alzheimer's disease that don't exist in other places. My goal is that by the time my kids are my age, they have strategies and treatments and interventions that are proven to reduce their risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. I always like to ask my patients what they would tell themselves at my age if they could. And I would say the top two answers that I've gotten over a career of doing this are that they would take better care of their health and they would spend more time with their families. And for me, that is part of my purpose, because that's what medical research is all about, taking care of our health and giving people more time with their families.